cider.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty
really good.
And that's
Ooh.
another reason why I love you.
I met Gust Hookanson in August of 2004, and I was a student at Columbia and walking home one day. I think it was actually raining, and that might have been why we walked in the bar first, because we didn't want to go any farther. And he was bartending that day.
Guys, long time no see. I remember the first time I met Jen. She came up and she introduced herself. Hi, I'm Jen Brown. And I went, wow, this is a beautiful, tall, extremely tan blonde woman who's introducing herself to me. You know, what's the catch?
I came to New York really wanting to find community and not getting lost in the city. And the ultimate sign of like community to me is to be able to walk into a bar and they know who you are and they serve you your drink. And just that Gus was so friendly and the beer was so cheap, and I started to meet people around the bar. You know, I kept coming in.
I pursued extremely hard for the first couple of months. We went on a date and we talked about our mutual love for Scrabble, and I had a great time. I thought, yeah, this is really good. I'm ready for a relationship. Then she just pushed me away. Or America's
He left out an important part of the story.
Uh-oh.
So we did go out on one date, but then we went out on a second date when he invited me to play Scrabble and have dinner at his apartment. And when I showed up at this apartment, I was so scared about who this person was, because his entire house, all the walls were just covered with like comic books and action figures and a stuffed bison head. And
it wasn't an actual stuffed bison head, it was a stuffed animal.
I don't even know what this is. What is this thing?
It's a skull. One of the things that I opted to keep because it's more artistic than it is frightening. She tells me now, years later, that she had 911 punched into her phone just in case I was a serial killer or something like that. It turns out I wasn't.
So I kind of ran away from there and didn't really think that this was a relationship that would work out based on the apartment.
Finally, I kind of broke her down. She had a birthday party. A friend of mine and myself went over there. There was guys rotating around her like she was, like she is the planet, and there were moons. And I finally said, you know what, I can't do this.
I think at that moment, just realizing that I was about to lose this person who, you know, throughout these months, I just kept learning and observing more and more interesting things that were so different from the initial impression that I had, that I was like, you know, I just really need to take a leap of faith and call him and actually try to date him and just forget the plan.
So the next day, after I mentally said I quit, I got a phone call and she said, hey, you want to come over and play Scrabble? And yeah.
My absolute favorite thing about Gus was watching him interact with his clients at the bar, because he was amazingly kind. I love that Gus really truly believes in putting good energy into the universe. Just watching that, I think, was what made me fall in love with him. It was just, he's seriously a good person. And I think that's rare.